Hi, this is Debra Carmona, and I am here to talk about managing your time. Are you one of those people that feel like I do sometimes? I don't have enough time to get it all done. I seem to have an endless stream of imagination. So many things to do. My head is so full of current and future projects. There are things that I want to make, things I want to learn, things I want to finish, and things I want to start. I have short-term goals and long-term goals. People often ask me, how do you get it all done? I'm going to attempt to answer that question in this video. I was talking to someone recently, complaining about not having enough time to get done all the things that I want to achieve. And she found that surprising, coming from me. She told me, "You already run circles around everyone else I know." I guess she sees me as a very productive person. Production. I guess that is my modus operandi. It seems like every day I am making something. Could be a card, a basket, a blanket, a loaf of bread, a piece of dollhouse furniture, a gift for someone, or I could be editing a video. My hands pretty much stay busy all the day long. I often find myself having so many things on my plate at the same time. Every day there are decisions to make. Almost as soon as I wake up in the morning, I'm thinking, what is my plan for this day? What are my goals for today? What must get done today? Which project should I be working on right now? Sometimes I plan that the night before so that I already have a basic plan of action when I wake up. My life is often filled with several unfinished projects because I'll be working on this one project for a while, but then this other thing pops up that needs to be done by a specific date. So some projects get put aside to come back to later. For those non-pressing projects, the later becomes much later than I had planned. I am just itching to get working on several different crafting projects, but I must take care of the pressing matters first. Example, I have everything picked out for my next basket. The color, threads, the center, the color needles. In my head, the basket is already finished, but I haven't started it yet. I told myself that I cannot start on that basket until I have finished this other project that has taken me so long to complete. Once I finish that, then I can reward myself by starting the new project. So how do I decide what to do? So it's a new day. What do I need to get done today? First of all, I prioritize. Time-sensitive items have to obviously be done first, and that could be an upcoming birthday or anniversary that I need to make a card for. So I have a whole system on how I manage my card making because I make hundreds of cards a year, and I like to send cards out to all of my family, my children, my grandchildren, my sisters and brothers and their children. There's birthdays and anniversaries and all that, plus Christmas cards. So those are time-sensitive things. So I have a whole system just in dealing with that so that I can keep up with it. I usually sit down and I'll make a list for the month. Okay, these are the people, these are the birthdays and anniversaries that I need to, and I keep that on my desk, my card making desk, and that way usually I make the cards ahead of time, or I have some starter cards made in ahead of time, and then I could just finish them off real quick. And usually I'll sit down in one little, maybe an hour session, and I'll say, okay, I need a birthday card, I need an anniversary card. I go through my starter cards and I pull out all the ones that I need in the order that I need them for the month. Finish them off, put them in an envelope, sign them, address them, put a stamp on them if they're going to be mailed, and they get put on my table. Sometimes before I put the stamp on, I'll put the date of what date I need to mail it so it gets to them on time, and then I mail it at the appropriate time. So it's all done for the whole month, that one thing. But then there are events on the calendar. Sometimes you have to attend a birthday party. Sometimes you have to attend an unplanned funeral. There are church, regular attending church. Then there's church activities. And sometimes there's parties to attend to, birthday parties or some other family event. And we also, my husband and I, have become involved in politics. So we go to our local political meeting, and sometimes we go to our county council meetings or town council meetings so we can pay attention to what's happening in our community, so that we can be involved and keep an eye on what's happening so we can be involved in the process. So that's something that's on the calendar, so we have to make time for that. And then I may be working on a project for a gift. I have a baby coming in the future, a granddaughter is going to be born in February. So my tradition, this is mine, I make a baby blanket, at least a baby blanket, maybe some other accessories, clothes, hat, sweater, booties, whatever, to go with it. But I make a baby blanket for every new baby that's born into the family. So that's one thing. Sometimes I got to get this done. I got to get started because I have a limited time. I know the due date. I want to get it done before the due date so that I can present it to them at the birth of the baby. So that's something that I have to keep it before me. And sometimes it gets put off because there's all this other stuff that's got to get done. Christmas, oh my goodness. Christmas is a big to-do because if you're going to have anybody in the home, if you're going to have company, you got to put out the decorations. You got to put up the lights. You got to put up the tree and other decorations. And that's a big to-do, and it takes up a huge chunk of time. And then I'm heavily involved in my church Vacation Bible School program because I basically write the scripts and organize the program. And well, there's a lot to it. And I know what the plan is for this year. So it's in my head. I'm muddling it over. I need to start working on it as soon as I can, but I got to find the time to get to it because I have all this other stuff that needs to be done. And then there's the seasonal stuff, fall, the leaves have finally fallen off the tree and our yard is covered. Eventually, one of us or both of us needs to get out there and rake the leaves. So that's something that's got to be done in a timely, seasonal time. Springtime, I like to divide some of my plants and move things around a little bit so that I can reproduce some plants I love plants that just reproduce, and then you could just keep spreading them here and there, and you can do a lot of landscaping that way. But that has to be done in the springtime. And sometimes I like to plant new bushes or new trees or new flowers, and that needs to be done in the springtime. And then year-round, because we live with a bunch of trees around us, it's basically a forest. And when we have storms or windy days or heavy rains, there'll be lots of branches that need to be picked up. And so we have to occasionally go around cleaning up all the branches and putting them in the burn pile, and then eventually that pile needs to be burned. And those are year-round things that have to be done. So those are kind of the time-sensitive things that need to be done. But then there are things that can be put off for another day or put off for another week or another month or another season that are not critical to being done right now. So prioritize. Let's talk about some time stealers, things that can get in the way of productivity, things that can get in the way of not getting anything done. It could be everyday household tasks, such as food preparation. Baking takes time. Meal planning, meal preparation, and yes, eating. Sometimes I wish we didn't have to eat because it takes up too much of our day. I would be happy if I could just be content and just go on and continue doing and not have to take time to sit down and eat. Take time to prepare a meal. And then, of course, when you make a meal, then there's the cleanup afterwards. Now, I'm actually blessed here because my husband, who is retired, He has volunteered to clean up. I do the cooking, I prepare the meals. He washes the dishes and cleans up the kitchen. So I'm blessed in that way. So I don't have to worry about that. But still, there is the responsibility of preparing the food. And then there's the regular household maintenance. Yeah, you can let the dusting be undone for a period of time, depending on where you live. But, there's the general cleaning, vacuuming, laundry. My husband helps with that too. Dishes, I told you about that. I don't have to worry about it, but a lot of you do have to worry about it. Making the beds, sometimes I make it, sometimes he makes it, sometimes we make it together. I think it's a good habit to, when you get up in the morning, well, I like to pull the covers off because our bed heats up, our mattress. We have a Tempur-Pedic mattress. It gets really warm with our bodies, so I like to throw the covers off, go have breakfast. After breakfast, I come back and then I make the bed. But that's just, regular stuff that had to be done, and the bathrooms have to be clean. I like to generally keep the house in order and keep up with the usual everyday stuff, sweeping the floor, things like that. That's, the regular daily stuff that has to be done. Okay, I don't vacuum every day, but I think I need to sweep every day because somehow my husband tracks in dirt. Cooking in the kitchen seems to get food on the floor. When he loads the dishwasher, there always winds up being something on the floor. So you just can't get around that. Those are just general things. I just try to keep the house decluttered. Now, sometimes it does get cluttered when I get busy doing my crafting, and if I'm doing it on the dining room table, it does kind of leave a mess everywhere for a while until that project is done and out of the way. That's why I need my crafting cottage, so that I could just walk away, shut the door, and let that project sit until I come back to it again. But because I have to create in the space where I live, I have to clean up pretty regular. And then there are family events, holidays. I already mentioned Christmas. Sometimes you have unexpected funeral you have to attend, a birthday event you have to go to. They take up time, but these things are important, so you just have to take the time to do those things. It can eat up a little bit of time. And then there's the scheduled events. Church, obviously, political meetings, they're scheduled, grocery shopping. I hate grocery shopping. Sometimes I can write a list and I send my husband and he'll go do it for me because I hate shopping. But sometimes I'm afraid he's going to spend too much, or he's going to put too many extra things or the wrong things, like something that's sweet or something with high fructose corn syrup in it. And I'm worried about him, buying that junk. So I'll go with him to make sure he doesn't buy that junk. But yeah, grocery shop. It's one of those necessary things that has to be done, and you got to fit it in. And then if you do attend a birthday party, well, that's going to take a little bit of time. Now, there are some other time stealers you can do something about. Things like social media, spending too much time on social media. I used to be on Facebook. I'm not anymore. I kind of got off of that 2021. I left social media. I am on YouTube. I do have an Instagram account. I'm not very active there, and I don't like spending too much time on Instagram. I used to like spending more time there because I follow a lot of creative people, and I like seeing what other creative people make. But lately, Instagram has become video. I don't want to see all these videos, so it just kind of annoys me. And I found that having left social media, I've discovered something about myself. I hate scrolling. I hate it. I find that so unnerving. I just don't like social media anymore. It's just not fun. It can eat up time. I know there are people who spend a lot of time on it, and they got to post. Here's a funny thing. Since I left social media, Facebook, I have a true social account. I'm not very active there. I pop in every once in a while, but as soon as I have to start scrolling, I'm gone. I'm done. I'm out of there. I have a Gab account. I haven't been there for so long, probably since 2022. I don't like it. I only like Telegram because it puts a line. Okay, everything above that line, I've read it. Everything below that line, I haven't read it yet. So I just can go to the next post. And I like that. I like that format. That keeps me informed of the world news, the political news. So I'm good with that. And, things that I want to know, I get it all from one location. And I don't follow lots of accounts. I just have one main account that's the one I keep up with. A few others, I check them every now and then. But I'm very selective. I kind of downsized and trimmed what time I spend on these types of things. Now, I do like to watch YouTube, and I'm kind of partial to watching cat videos and animal videos. I would rather watch cats being silly than watching people being stupid. I just can't. It's like, why? Why do you people do this to yourself? Yeah, that's an area that I have to watch. So I put limits. Okay, I've done this for, too many minutes. I think it's time to go on to do something else. Now, there's some things that you can't help. Somebody pops in, an unexpected visit from family or friends. Drop everything, spend time with those people in your life, because that's important. You can get back to those things after they leave. Some necessary, annoying things you have to spend time on: bill paying. I'm kind of in charge of that in my household. My husband doesn't like to do anything. And I have a system. I have a system for just about everything. I have a running list of everything that has to be taken care of by the date. And it's a perpetual numbers document. And every month I change to the next month. Like, this is January. So I change all the Decembers to January. And whenever the bill gets paid, check, it gets a little check mark. And so that's how I can keep up with things. I check it regular to make sure I don't make a late payment. And that keeps us current all the time. Bills are paid on time. But it takes time, who likes sitting paying bills? It's not fun. I mean, it's got to be done. And emails. This is the one thing that's annoying. I use Google, and one of the things I like about Google is the fact that you can prioritize. I like to prioritize. So you could click important to all of those things you want to keep up with, and everything else you could just ignore. So all the things that are prioritized will show up at the top of your email. Everything else is below that. I do peek down, because that's where I'll find my coupons and if I'm going to buy something or make a purchase, I want that coupon, or I want that special offer. I will check that, but there's a lot of stuff that I just don't pay attention to because I don't have the time for it. So again, I prioritize even in my email. So I'll just skim through. Yeah, I'll just read the title of the message. Do I need to deal with anything? Okay, no, I'll skip that. Okay, yeah, okay, I took care of that. Yeah, okay, delete. So I try to trimline. I'm sure there are 30,000 emails in my account that I have not read. And I also get a lot of offers because I'm a YouTuber. Offers, oh, we've been watching your account and we think you've got something special, and we think that our business proposition will be great for you and we could be a good fit. Now, I look at what they have to offer. No, sorry. Not interested. No, it's not a good fit. You don't know anything about me. You haven't really watched my channel. Nope. But every once in a while, there'll be something there that, okay, that could be useful. That could actually serve me. But most of the time, nah, skip, delete. So email can be one of those things that can bog you down. So find a way to trim it. Prioritize what's important, get rid of everything else that's not. And then I've got to say this, and I'm guilty of it just like a lot of other people. A big time stealer is procrastination. Yep, sometimes I procrastinate. I bet you do too. That can hold us back if we procrastinate. Sometimes you just gotta, okay, it's time to stop procrastinating. We just need to get it done. Just jump on it, tackle it, get it done, check it off the list instead of procrastinating. My husband is famous for that. He has a saying, don't do today what you can put off for tomorrow. Well, that's perpetual procrastination. That's not me, but occasionally I procrastinate, and that's not good. So just tackle it. Just grab the bull by the horns and tackle it. Sometimes it's sickness or health issues. Now, I've been pretty fortunate this past year that I've been doing pretty well. I try to take my supplements and drink water. I try not to eat junk food. I don't consume much sugar. My husband, I wish I could say that was true of him. But yeah, sickness can knock you down, it can slow you down. If you don't take care of your health, that's going to slow you down. And one thing that takes up a lot of my time, and I hear a lot of YouTubers complain about it, and that's editing videos. Yeah, it depends on the type of video. Crafting videos, sometimes they could be pretty easy and quick to edit. Sometimes they take a lot of time because you wind up recording more than you need to record, and then you gotta chop it down and get the best parts of it to make a good video. Card making don't take a lot of time, but first of all, you have to have the idea. What is it about? And usually I don't know what those ideas are going to be until I sit down and I start playing with my papers, and then I say, hey, I think I just found something, or I figured out something, or hey, this will be a good subject for a video, and then I'll turn on the camera and start recording. But normally I don't pre-plan my videos for card making. Matter of fact, I don't really pre-plan any of my videos. I usually just record whatever it happens to be that I'm doing. So I don't have a specific plan, goal, or agenda necessarily for my videos. And sometimes I will have an idea, but it's usually based on something that I've already done. And this video is a little bit different because I'm tackling a particular topic. So I thought I would talk to you. I don't usually do that, but I thought I would try this format, see if it's useful or helpful to anybody. My channel, I suppose it's kind of like a hodgepodge. You never know what's coming out next. I'm sorry. That's the way it is. I don't try to put on any. I don't try to be something I'm not. I don't make stuff up. I just record whatever it is that I'm doing. Usually it's something that I'm doing. And my videos are not about me, not really. It's about what I do, and I try to be helpful. I try to be encouraging. I try to be inspirational. I try to show you how to do stuff. So that's what it's about. It's kind of an educational how-to video, but it's not about me. I don't really want it to be about me. Editing a video, some videos can take all day, 2 days, several days. Depending on the type of video, depending on the content, it takes up a lot of time. And I guess it can't be helped. One big mistake I made, I had this video, I had 2 hours of content. And I was like, I don't want to have to go through and cut out all the repetitive stuff. I just decided, let's just put it at the fastest speed possible so that it gets it down to 12 minutes. I think it was less than 13 minutes, and just post it, see what happens. That was probably a mistake. No, it wasn't a mistake because it has gotten close to 1 million views. I think it's short, maybe between 1,500 and 1,000 more views to make it. That's my sock bunny video. The funny thing is that video got the most negative comments. It's too fast. You're making me dizzy. Maybe I should make some videos like that again, where I just don't edit it at all. I just put the whole thing, boom, just so people can complain. And then I'll get the views. No, I really want to be helpful. So I take the time to cut out the extra stuff that doesn't need to be there. Try not to be repetitive. Just give you enough of what's happening so that you can understand, and it doesn't go too fast and anybody can understand it. So that's what I try to do. But that takes time, and then I don't get the views, and I don't know. This is a crazy medium. Who can tell what somebody's going to watch and what they're going to hate? It's just very hard. But anyways, I hope you got something out of this video. Please leave a comment below. What do you struggle with when it comes to time? And how do you have some tips that maybe you could share with me about making the most of your time? So how do I decide what to do? Basically, I have 3 steps. First of all, time sensitive. Do those things that are time sensitive. Make them the priority. That could be the priority for today, the priority for this week, or the priority for the month. Sometimes it might be the season. 2, the non-pressing items, not time sensitive, they can wait. Now, how do you deal with those non-pressing things that don't have to be done by a specific date? Well, a little here and a little there. That's how I get things done. I just peck away at it a little at a time. Long-term goals with no specific time frame can still be ticked away one task at a time. It may take years for those home improvement projects to get finished, but one job here and one job there, it'll get done eventually. Same with building of my crafting cottage. Oh, I wish it were done already. I want that space. I actually need that space. I want to move in. I'm anxious to work on the next phase of my crafting cottage. I have already bought the tools and the supplies for the next phase of the project, but it's just sitting there waiting for an available time slot that we can work on it. Other projects right now are taking precedent. And that's just the way it is. So number 1, do the time-sensitive things first. Put the non-pressing items that can wait, put them off. Next, what do I feel like doing? Yes, you know, we have our moments when we feel like cleaning, and other days, oh, don't even talk about cleaning. You know, I like to write. I've been working on some short, no, actually, it's a collection of short stories that might become a book someday. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I am writing. So I'm putting some things down that I think need to be told. And so I work on it a little at a time, and then I'll put it off and I don't go back to it till I feel inspired to add to it. And then I'll start reading it. It's like, oh yeah, I remember this detail. I need to add this, or oh, this would fit nicely with that. And so they're just documents on my computer that I'm working on a little at a time. Maybe someday it'll turn out to be a book. Maybe one file that I have could potentially be a children's book, but I have to work on some illustrations to go with it. But that's just one of those things. It's long-term, non-pressing. I'll just do it a little here and a little there until eventually it gets done. Weaving, well, that's one of the big projects that I'm working on right now. It's a big project. I'm not going to go into it, but this is one of those things that I have got to get it done. I've been working on this project for so long, I need to finish it. Sewing, that's also part of that same project. Crafting, oh, I love crafting. I have so much fun creating things. Totally into dollhouses right now, and I want to make more, and I've got all these ideas. I have my next house planned and haven't even started it. Crocheting, knitting, again, those are, I have a baby coming, so I have to work on that baby blanket. So I do it a little bit here and a little bit there, and a good time to do that when in the evening and I'm just, you know, want to just chill out and sit down and watch a movie, usually an old classic with my husband. That's a good time for me to crochet. But that's also a good project to take with you if you're taking a trip. Usually when I take a trip, I will bring along something to do. Could be making a basket, could be a crochet knitting project, or it might be a book to read. I've already spoke about video editing. Do I feel like doing it? Yes, some days I enjoy video editing. Other days it's a grueling task and I don't enjoy it. But I have to get a video out because it's been a week and I haven't posted a video. I try to get a video out once a week. Lately, my schedule has not been very consistent. I think I put out 2 videos last week and I didn't put out a video on Friday like I usually do. Oh well. It'll get done when it gets done. Home improvement projects. I have a project ongoing. We've been kind of procrastinating about it. Christmas got in the way. Now we're taking a trip soon. So, well, I think that's going to get put off until we get back from our trip. But then, do I have time for it? I don't know. Building my crafting cottage, I already spoke about that. It'll have to wait. I'm sure as springtime comes, I'm going to be just dying to get back in it. So I better get this other project done before then. Baking. There are some days I want to bake. There are some days I don't feel like baking at all. Cleaning is one of those things. I try to keep up with the little general cleaning that needs to be done, but I don't like to do deep cleaning. But every once in a while, the cleaning bug gets into me and I gotta reorganize everything and dust everything. And you know, you have those moments. Do I feel like cleaning? Usually not. But my house is not messy. I mean, there might be certain areas where I may be working on something that area will be messy, but usually my house is in fairly decent order. Card make. That's another thing. That's one of those things that sometimes I feel like doing it. Sometimes I don't know what to do, but I know I need to just sit down and play with paper. And once I get busy playing, then I usually come up with some ideas. My starter cards are getting low. That's cards that kind of have a color to them. They have a base. They have some sort of a background. They're ready for the embellishments. They're ready for the sentiment, but they're not complete cards. So I could just sit down and make some more of those. But I do kind of have a whole system for that. Basket making, I already talked about that a little bit. Do I want to make? Yes, I want to make a basket. I can't wait to start my next basket. But I told myself, nope, 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 nope. That's going to be my reward when I finish the other thing. Reading. I do love to read, but I usually don't have the time, the spare time to read. So I have to take it in small chunks and don't spend too much time reading, a little here, a little there. And then sometimes you have to take time for planning. So that's kind of basically how I tackle it. Time sensitive first, put off the things that can wait, and then what do I feel like doing? You see, if you do it that way, then you're working with the creative juices that you have. And that maybe that's why I have a never-ending list of what I want to do. And my creativity can flow very freely and easily because I'm not limiting myself by keeping within a certain time frame or schedule. I don't know if that's said right. But anyways, I hope I gave you some ideas on how you can manage your time. Now, I do have to set time limits. Like when I sit down to write, I could get into it and I could sit there for hours. But I have to say, okay, I've been here for an hour. That's good enough. Okay, quit. Go do something else. Needlework, I could do that for hours too. So I just try to fit it in at good moments when like maybe dinner's cooking and I have to wait for something to finish and I don't want to leave the kitchen, so I could do some needlework then. And I already spoke about reading. Have to set limits on that. So there's some things that you do, you just need to set a time limit so you don't spend too much time on it. Some of the things that I do, I have to set time limits because I could get too wrapped up in it that I would neglect the more needful things that I should be doing right now. I do keep lists. I have short lists, the daily lists, which usually doesn't have more than 5 items on it. And I don't put, the regular everyday, baking, cooking, cleaning. I don't put those on the list. Just the main things that I want to try to achieve for the day. If you make your list too long, you'll never get it done. So I keep the list short. So I have short lists. And then I have long lists, long-term goals. They could be like home improvement projects, every phase of my crafting cottage build in the order that I want to get them done. So I have long-running lists that may take years to complete, but that's how I get it done. So I hope that answers the question that people often ask me. How do you get it all done? Little by little, bit by bit. A little here and a little there. And that's how we get it done. So get her done. Have a good day. Thanks for watching.